Alright, what's up? Good morning, guys. Day 3 on the new 2020 Honda 450. We're out here at a pretty awesome little private track. If you guys have watched some of the videos, you may recognize this place. We rode it a couple times towards the end of my stay down here in Florida earlier this year. So cool little track out in the middle of the swampland, basically out in Florida. Today we're going to be going over some of the settings that I've been changing on the bike since I got it. I'll basically just be telling you guys, you know, my setup, what I've been doing and why, just to get it set up a little bit more for me. And then we also have some really cool stuff that we're going to be trying out today. You guys probably already saw my video on my 250 trying out some titanium engine mounts from Works Chassis Lab. Well, yesterday we just got a shipment in for the 450. So these are the titanium lower engine mounts for the front. And then we also have a couple different variations for the top. So we've got some medium ones and some soft ones. So huge thank you to Works Chassis Lab and Michael Lindsay for sending those out. We're going to be trying those out today. As you can see, we got the stock ones on there right now. So we're gonna take that for a spin in stock trim, let the track get a little bit beat up, and then we'll put the titanium ones on and see what kind of a difference it makes. Made a huge difference on my 250, and that was a bike that already handled really well, so definitely really excited to see what it does for this beast. I am actually surprised at how well this thing handles just for stock suspension right now, but I'm definitely excited to get some suspension and some titanium engine mounts on there. So without further ado, we're just gonna get ready, head out there and do a warm-up in the stock form. Maybe ride another moto in stock trim just to let the track break in and get a little rougher. Then we'll throw the Works Chassis Lab mounts on there and give those a go. All right, we got the first session with the stock mounts. Gonna go out there for like 20-30 minutes. Just get a good feel for it and get the track broken in. Alright guys, so we just did like a 19-minute session out there, just breaking the track in. It's coming around pretty good. Not super rough yet, but we're gonna go ahead and try these mounts out anyways, because there is just getting a little bit of chop coming into the corners, and I feel like that's really where these mounts make a huge difference. So the set comes with a pair of the titanium front lower mounts, which these are a lot thicker than the stock ones, and basically what this is meant to do is stop the motor from moving forward and backward in the chassis under hard braking or acceleration. So it keeps the motor really planted forward to backwards so that you're only using your suspension when you're like braking into corners. And what that does is, so like say you're coming into a corner and you're under heavy braking and you hit a big braking bump, your motor will actually move forward in the frame just a little bit and then kind of get this vibration back and forth that throws off the suspension just a little bit. So what these do is it eliminates that and just makes the front end feel really, really planted coming into corners, especially under like high speed chop. At least that's where I noticed the biggest difference on my 250 was coming into like really high speed corners under heavy braking. It just makes the front end feel like it will just stick and you can put it anywhere you want to. It doesn't deflect off of anything, so really like these lower mounts. And then the kit also comes with these aluminum upper mounts, which as you can see, they've got the big holes cut out in them. This model, they sent me the soft uppers and the medium ones, but since I'm in some softer terrain, I can afford to have a little bit more rigidity in the chassis. It just allows me to push a little bit harder without the chassis like feeling like it's rolling over on me. So I'm using the medium mounts. You can see ME for medium. I'm gonna give those a go first. They're still a lot softer than the stock ones, so that allows the motor to get some more torsional flexion. So when you're coming out of like really rough corners and normally your bike would be deflecting off of those, coming like accelerating out of hard corners, this allows the motor to move a little bit more torsionally to soak that stuff up. So we're gonna go ahead and put the medium uppers on along with the lowers. So let's get to it. Very nice. Time to do the lowers. Dude, these just look so sick. Like, I can't get over it. It just looks awesome. If you guys want to go pick up some of these for your own, you can head over to Works Chassis Lab and use the code Jeff Walker, and you will get, I think, 10% off. You guys should definitely go check them out because they completely change the handling of your dirt bike. So definitely go check them out. All right, gotta match it up here. Look good? Yeah. Alright guys, well that's a wrap. Engine mounts are on. Let's go see how these puppies perform. Whew, man, I just can't even say how happy I am with this bike. Like pleasantly surprised. You guys know that I've been riding Honda 450s for quite a while, and my main race bike were the 250s, but I would ride the Honda 450s just so that I would obviously not switch brand to brand. I would ride a Honda 450 to practice on, so that way I was already used to the chassis and everything. And I was never like a huge fan of the way they handled. The power delivery was always pretty aggressive and gnarly, so it didn't really tailor well to the 250. But man, I just feel right at home on this thing. Like the power delivery seems to be a lot better than last year's bike. Even in like aggressive map number 3, it doesn't seem like it's as gnarly as it used to be. Still definitely hands down way faster than any other 450 that I've ridden, but like it's a lot more manageable right now. I feel like maybe the Yoshi pipes just kind of made the power come on a little bit better. But man, I'm really impressed with just the stock suspension on this thing. Like normally the forks were always really soft, and that would cause a lot of the weight to load up on the front end, and that's why I would always complain about like the twitchy feeling. But it seems like they did a lot better job at keeping the forks up higher in the stroke on this bike. So when I'm coming like heavy under braking, I notice I'm not like riding the bumper like I used to. It just holds up nice and high in the stroke, and it actually feels really good. I haven't felt that like really twitchy front end, at least not nearly as bad, especially now with those engine mounts. Like it just makes such a huge difference having that front end so planted coming into those corners. I don't know if you guys will see it in that one, but I was just carving out some like new inside ruts. Like there's a pretty big bowl corner around there in the middle, and just for fun one lap, just because I had so much confidence in that front end, I just locked up the brakes, turned, and the front end just stuck and just ripped right down that inside. And I feel like that was always where I didn't gel with the Honda very well in the past. I was always pretty fast on it in the sand because I always had like sandy berms to rail and just push the bike into. But whenever it came to harder pack tracks, I was never really as comfortable like with precision on this thing. Whereas with the Husky, I felt like the Husky was really precise and I could just turn and it would just turn and go right where I wanted it to. I feel like this bike is slowly transforming more into that precise feeling, and I really like that. Definitely the engine mounts helped out with that a lot. So I think my favorite part about the engine mount kit is those titanium lowers. It just makes the front end feel so good. My one complaint with the suspension on this thing is how soft the rear end is. I definitely feel like I'm sacking out the rear end a little more, and it's a little bit more choppered out than I like. So I'm definitely excited to get the Race Tech suspension back on this thing. I think they stiffened it up quite a bit for me, so that should be really nice to get that on there. So yeah, really stoked on the engine mounts. Like I said earlier, if you guys want to go pick up some for your own, you can head over to workschassis.com and use the code Jeff Walker, so you guys can go check that out. I highly recommend it. I know there's a lot of like question marks about whether these things really work or not. I'm not gonna sit here and like try and lie to you guys, and if I didn't think that they were good, I wouldn't run them all season on my pro race bike. Works Chassis Lab isn't paying me any money or anything to say this. I truly just believe in them, and I'm definitely going to have them on every single bike that I own from here on out, whether I have to buy them or not, because these things just honestly make a huge difference. Hope you guys go out and pick some up and try them out. Let me know how you like them, and yeah, use that code to get some money off. The other thing that I did that I was telling you guys I was going to do is I put the stock upper triple clamp back on because I like having that extra room. So you guys can see they have these back mounts and I have them in the forward mounts. So that's something that the Ride Engineering clamps didn't offer. They didn't have that forward mounting hole on them, and I really like having that extra room. So I went ahead and put the stock ones back on, moved them forward, and it feels completely different. Like I can stand up so much more comfortably now, and I'm not like wasting so much energy because I'm not like holding onto the bars in my stomach. I'm actually able to reach out forward to grab the bars. So definitely if you're on the taller side, I highly recommend trying out those forward mounting holes because that made a huge difference. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely go pick up some engine mounts for your bike, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys.